joined once again by Fernando Gonzalez, who's going to be headlining Bellator 193 in his own backyard on January 26th. He's going to be taking on Lorenz Larkin. Fernando, how are you, man? I imagine pretty damn good.
I'm very good, man. Very good. Weight's on point, and I'm ready to go out there and put on a show for everybody.
I bet. Now, take me back to that moment when you found out you'd be headlining this card, because it's a big deal not just to headline a card, but to do so in your own backyard.
I had a feeling that we would, just coming off of that Brendan Ward fight. Once I knew that they were going to be coming back to California right here at Pechanga in my backyard, it was inevitable. But I'm very happy that I got the call to be able to headline and to open up the show here at Pechanga. It's the first show, the first event in their new building. And like I said, man, I'm going to put on a show for you guys, and it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm really looking forward to this one. And you referenced the Brendan Ward fight. That was a third-round submission in that one. Was there ever a point where you were worried that maybe you wouldn't get the finish as the fight was going on, or did you feel like it was going to happen?
No, I knew it was going to happen. That the whole lead up into the fight, everything was just going perfect. Syracuse area, Verona was a very beautiful area. So just mentally and spiritually, I felt great. I went into that fight knowing that I was going to win. Just knowing his style, he's a brawler. He comes after you, and I knew with my skill level, I was going to be able to break him down. And he had never really seen the third round too much, so I knew once we got there, mentally he was going to be broken already or trying to survive. And all I needed to do was put a little pressure to make him break.
And this fight, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be at 180-pound catch weight. That's what Tapology said. Is that the case or no?
Yeah, it's 180. Just same reason, I think, because my last fight I made 180. So they were actually pushing me to fight at 185. So the way it kind of came about, me and Paul Daly started getting into it online. And I told him, hey, I don't have an opponent yet here at Pechanga. So if you want it, let's get it, And he was all interested in getting the fight, and he's like, I'll come to your house and kick your ass in your backyard, So that we're going back and forth, and I really thought or wanted that fight, since the kickboxing match that I know I won, I still felt I with an MMA match, it's not even close. So that's how I feel about it, and I just want to get out there and prove it. He started popping his gums and saying that anybody that jumps in the cage with him, he would get knocked down. The only ones that didn't was Douglas Lima and Nick Diaz. And I was like, dude, I stood in there in a kickboxing match in your thing, what you're best at, and you couldn't get it done. And it was a controversial loss. I feel I won the boxing match. And, with kickboxing, the kicks land or score a little bit more. So I think I just got a little bit more done. But anyway, that's how we got going back and forth. And I think in that, Lorenz, and because I know his camp very well, they either picked up on it, made the call, or they called them and said, hey, would you guys want to fight Fernando? And that's how it came about.
Okay, interesting. Because I was going to say, this is your third straight fight at a catchweight, if I'm not mistaken. You haven't fought at 170 in a while.
Yeah, like I've said before, I prefer if it's not going to be for a belt, it really doesn't matter to me to make that 170.
Right. Yeah. No, I hear
Give me a title shot, I'm going to get there. I'll be on that weight. The last one was, it is what it is. But the last text that I received was that I was making the weight. There was no pre-weigh-in. It was going to be at 5:00 in the afternoon. So from 11 to 5, they cut a lot of hours away from me. I missed by 2 pounds. So like I said, had they given me that time, I'll make the weight. I wasn't dehydrated or anything. It was they took my time away from me, and that's kind of what happened. But it worked out for me on this one. I only got to make 180 again. So
I was going to say, should we start calling this the Menifee Maniac division at this point? Because it seems like this is kind of where you've been fighting a lot of your last couple fights.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's just going out there and putting on a good show. If I'm healthier, not having to dehydrate myself, it's not a big deal to me. They're not gearing me to a title, so it's not a big deal. I give me the name. That's a title for me. Every name that I beat are high quality fighters, so for me, that's my belt. If everybody else is kind of chasing this fad of the belt and it's shiny and beautiful and nice, but it doesn't mean anything if you're not beating guys that are at that level, you know. So eventually I'm going to get the belt. They're running out of options anyway, and with this fight, you're going to see that my body's on point, and you know, they're not going to deny me much anymore.
No, I agree with that. And you mentioned taking tough fights. It seems like every time we talk, there's always a tough opponent in front of you. And this one is Lorenz Larkin, obviously a UFC veteran, a guy that chose to go to Bellator, you know, as opposed to staying with the UFC. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight? He's on a bit of a slide, but he's certainly very dangerous.
You know, his last fight, I think he got a little bit too emotional with Daly. But realistically, had he started a little bit sooner against Lima, he could have easily been the champion. I thought Lima did enough in the first 3 rounds to hurt him and score, but realistically, that 4th and 5th round was Larkin's rounds. You know, I thought that's where he turned it around. So had that happened a little bit sooner, he could have easily been the champion right now. So, I mean, other than Daly knocking him out, but at that time, you know. So I still think he's very talented. Those little things happen, you know. You make a mistake and you pay for it. And I think I'm going to have a lot tougher fighter on this one than Daly did, because he's not going to come in here emotional. He's going to learn from that mistake. And I'm expecting the guy that fought Lima. So I'm expecting a champion, you know, and that's who I'll be ready. That's who I'm ready for, and that's who I'm going to go out there to beat.
And more importantly, he really needs a win here. I mean, he hasn't got, you know, any wins in Bellator, so he really needs, his back's against the wall. So you are probably going to get the best version of Larkin in this fight, which makes it such an interesting matchup. Now, training camp, obviously train at Team Quest. How's that going? Who are some of the main training partners? Is it just sort of business as usual?
Same guys as always, man. All my main guys, Isaiah Alvarado, Tom Galicchio, Ricardo Banuelos, my brother Tristan Hernandez, all my guys that are always in my corner, they're the ones that are always there, you know. So all my other guys, obviously, that are Zeus Muay Thai, you know, that's our thing.
Yeah, no, I like it. You're repping it. That's good, man.
You know, that's our little group of kickboxing that we have in the gym, and so all those guys are pushing me and helping me get ready. I got some good rounds in last night as well. So Jason Shrill, there's a couple guys, man, that just haven't been seen yet that need to be shown. We got 2 guys on the card now, a little bit lighter guys that are on the show. So the more we can get on there, I'm going to be pumped, man, because there's a lot of talent in our room right now.
You mentioned Tom Galicchio. Did he end up getting signed by anyone? I know he's been campaigning to get with Bellator or any of these other promotions. I don't know why nobody will sign this guy. He's so entertaining.
Yeah. From what I understand, that right now he's still healing up from a couple of things he had to take care of. You know, just little injuries here and there that accumulate, but he had the time to take care of it. He's recovering, and then after that, we're going to start hunting down some names for him.
Yeah, and he's a good stand-up comedian, too. I saw him in Vegas when he was up there during International Fight Week. That was pretty cool to see him do that up, which was kind of neat. But let's get back to you, man. January 26th, how do you see this fight playing out?
I think it's like you said, he's got 2 losses. So he's got to come out almost and try to win impressively. He's got to show that they signed him for a reason. But in that, he's going to make a lot of mistakes trying to get to me and trying to finish me. So I'm either going to end it early or it's going to, like my other fights, I like to break them down slow and break their will so they don't want to fight me again. And I'm going to do the same with Larkin. I do see it ending a little bit early just because of how fast he is, and he's got that extra pressure of he has to get it done, you know. So with 2 losses, it messes with your mind a little bit, where even if he wants to start slow, the nerves of him wanting to get the win will make him make a mistake, and I'll be able to catch him.
Yeah, and even if he does get a win, I mean, he's going to want to do something impressive because he wants the brass to know that they made a good signing here, right? So there's a lot of, you know, different factors heading into this one. Where do you feel like a win over Lorenz Larkin sort of puts you in the division? And the plan is to go down to welterweight again, or do you want to go up to 85?
No, I like 80, 70s, 75, anything in that range. Because I mean, anything that's 85 up, these guys are big guys. You know, they're real big dudes. Not that I've competed at 205 and 185, so not that I can't, but it's a lot more work and a lot more taxing on the body. And I'm getting older, so. Like I said, I'm in the position now where we dialed in our certain things, and especially after that last mishap where they took the time. You know, it is what it is. Like I said, things happen, and there was a miscommunication there. And but I've made all the adjustments, and with my meal prep guys, we made the adjustments that we needed to do to get to where they're not going to doubt me that I can make the weight. You know, so if it's at 170. Perfect. You know, I really do want to fight the winner of McDonald and Lima. I know that I've earned it. You know, I've beaten nothing but top guys and competed against the best guys, where these guys are still kind of padding the record or taking little breaks in between fights. With, not to be mean, they're not fighting that level of competition right now. So some aren't, but most of them aren't. You know, they're getting the wins and getting the cool knockouts, but they're not notable names. So I think I've done that, and I've been competing against the best and proving myself. So after this win, I don't see them really keeping me too long away from that. More likely, I think daily again, just to kind of steer me a little bit away again, but so they can see that I can make the weight. And then after that, I'll get my belt.
Well, I don't even know who they'd give the winner of Rory and Lima at this point. I mean, I would think it has to be this fight, especially if you win, because Larkin just lost to Lima. You know, if Larkin beats you and you know, he faces Rory, that's a fresh matchup. But I mean, Michael Page, I've heard like a peep out of, you know, his camp. I don't know what's happening with him, but I mean, you're sort of the guy right now, if I'm looking at the division, as far as who should get the next title shot. You'd have to agree with that a little bit. I
do. You know, I've been saying it for a while. I think I should have had the title shot a while back, but I know they keep signing these guys with new names, so it's understandable. They got the name already. They already put the money behind these guys, so they kind of had to do that. I'm ready for it as soon as they want. Like I said, I don't like cutting that extra weight if I don't have to.
Right, unless it's for a title, obviously.
Yeah, they say it's for the belt. I'm on it. I'm going to be on the weight. Like I said, on this one, I'm going to prove again that I'll be able to make the weight, so at least body style, you know, like I'm way leaner than ever. So they'll see it, and I know I can make the weight. So it's not a big deal for me. If once it comes, I'll be able to do it. And I know once I get that shot, man, it's going to be a hell of a fight. But
everyone's
I'm going
to check this out. It's Bellator 193 coming up here January 26th. Fernando, it's always a pleasure talking to you, man. I always appreciate you taking the time. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs or thank yous, the floor is yours.
Right on. Yeah, I gotta thank all my sponsors, CVAC, SoCal Fresh. Again, those guys they've helped me a lot for this camp. You know, all my camps, but everything that's been dialed in now, it's great. So thank you guys, SoCal Fresh, Venom, Fight Gear. They're sponsoring me again for this fight, and then hopefully in the future too as well. Heritage Tattoo, Esparza Plastering. The W training facility is my new strength and conditioning place, and R&R Roofing. These guys, those guys have been with me for some time now and been helping me out. So thank you guys, all my training partners, Isaiah Alvarado, Tom Galicchio, Ricardo Benuelos, my brother Tristan. Man, I can't say enough, dude, for all the guys that have been helping me for this fight. I'm ready to go, and I'm going to put on a show and get my win. You can find me on Twitter at menifumaniac and on Instagram at menifumaniac. And if you go to my Facebook page, it's Fernando the Menifumaniac Gonzalez.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.